Now let's see how we can set up the Tonex pedal in a studio environment. So on this pedal, on the outputs, I've got two cables going through into the inputs on my audio interface. And then in my DAW, I'm using Studio One over here. I can create a new track. Then on the input side, I just need to set up the input for one of the cables coming out from the Tonex pedal into the input on my audio interface. So that's input L over here. I can record arm it and record enable it. And then I can set my input to input 2, which is my guitar. So now when I turn my guitar up, and then I could record that. So I'm just going to press record. So that's probably the most easiest setup that we can do, going straight out of the Tonex pedal into our audio interface's input and then setting it up in our DAW and recording it. But another neat thing is that you can use the Tonex pedal as an audio interface. And what you can do with that is with the two outputs, you can record the process signal and the raw DI signal so that you can use that to reamp it at a later stage in your production. So let me show you how that's set up. So I'm just going to undo this track that I've recorded here, and let's go over onto the Tonex pedal, and we need to change some of the global settings. So for this, I need to hold down the model button. Then I've got my preset settings. I need to rotate again to get into my global settings. Then I'm going to hit enter. And over here, you can change global settings within the pedal. For example, I can change the way things are named. So if I click in here, it's going to show the bank name. But maybe I only want to show the name. So if I choose that and go back out, now on the presets, I'm only going to see the name. But let me change that back. I'm going to get into more of the global settings throughout the videos, but I just want to show you how you can go in here and change some things. So I want to show the bank name and the name. So that is fine. Now, if I just scroll over, I want to scroll over to operation mode. Currently, it's in live mode. That means I'm using the pedal within a live context. But if I turn this over, now it's going to be an interface mode. And what this means is I can use this as an audio interface. And also, I need to go back and go to USB out. And then from USB out, I want to click on that. And instead of having stereo mode, I want to choose dual. So with dual, this is going to allow me to send two audio signals out, my process signal from the pedal, and then also my raw DI. Now going across into my DAW, for here I want to go back to my preferences for my audio device. For playback, I'm going to leave it set to my audio device that I've got connected to my machine. For the recording device, I want to set this to the Tonex pedal. And you can also set the Tonex pedal as the output. If I've got my outputs on my device going either to my studio monitors, or I can use the headphone out. But I've got my studio monitors and headphones connected to my UMC 404 interface here, so I'm going to leave it set at that. Then I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to create two tracks. So I'm going to create another track. This one, I want to set the input to input 1. And then for track 2, I want to set the input to input 2. So if I record on input 1 or track 1, I get my process signal. And if I record on track 2, I've got the clean signal. So if I'm recording both of these in, there, I've got my process signal in track 1 over here, and in track 2, I've got the raw DI. So I could use this or keep it to use at a later stage to reamp using another guitar tone. And if you find that this level is a bit loud, what you can do is go into the device, go to global, and you can set the output to a different level. So trim in is the audio going into the Tonex pedal. So I could click here and increase the trim in if I want a high input going into the pedal. For example, maybe I'm using a single coil on my electric guitar instead of a humbucker, and I want more level, then I could increase this. And then another setting that you can go for is the output. So main volume output, I can click there and increase this level if I want more output going out of the device into my DAW. So that's how to set up the Tonex pedal to use it in a studio environment to record your tracks. You can either use this as an audio device or you can combine it with the audio device that you got in your setup.